Before being crowned Queen Latifah, Dana Elaine Owens was just a little girl from New Jersey with a love for music and a passion for entertaining. With a career that spans almost 4 decades, the multi-talented Latifah has undoubtedly made her mark on show business, winning it all from Grammys to Emmys and then some. But as anyone who knows the Queen can attest to, her rise to the top hasn't been without its fair share of hiccups. While today she's got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and been named as one of the most influential artists of her generation, Latifah had to endure a lot before getting there. Public beefs, accusations about her sexuality, and even the death of those closest to her all tested the rapper. But she was able to keep her head held high and her crown intact. So, ladies first, and watch your step as we take you through the crazy life of Queen Latifah. Born in Newark, New Jersey on March 18, 1970, the young Latifah spent the majority of her upbringing in East Orange, New Jersey. She was the daughter of school teacher Rita LeMay and police officer Lancelot Amos Owens, and her family lived comfortably on their modest income. But things changed when Latifah was 10 and her parents got divorced. From then on, Latifah stayed with her mom and grandmother as they worked together to raise Latifah and her brother. Raised in the Baptist faith, Latifah attended Catholic school in Newark before going to Essex Catholic Girls High School. She would eventually attend the same school her mom taught at, Irvington High School, where the 5'10" singer played power forward for her high school team. Latifah always knew she wanted to be a performer, discovering her stage name, Latifah, at the tender age of 8 after discovering the name in a book of Arabic names. Latifah meaning delicate and very kind. It was while she was enrolled at Irvington High School that Latifah got her first taste for show business, performing the number Home at a school play. After getting her GED, she enrolled at the Borough of Manhattan Community College, where she attended classes and worked towards a degree in communications. During this time, the Long Island native began beatboxing for the hip-hop group Ladies Fresh and was made an original member of the Flavor Unit, a group of MCs from New York and Long Island who centered around producer DJ King Gemini. She collaborated with Gemini to create her demo recording, Princess of the Posse, and was able to give the record to Fab Five Freddy, the host of Yo! MTV Raps. The track got Latifah her first bit of industry attention, and soon Dante Ross of Tommy Boy Music signed Latifah, with the pair quickly getting to work on Latifah's first single. A year later, Wrath of Madness dropped and attracted the attention of established musicians like Lil' Kim and Ice Cube, who would sample Latifah's track over the next few years. But while fame seemed to be at Latifah's doorstep, real life came knocking in the most tragic way it possibly could. In 1992, Lancelot Jr., Latifah's older brother, was killed in a motorcycle accident in New Jersey. What made things even harder for the rapper was that she had been the one to purchase the motorbike for him. The singer was understandably guilt-stricken. She refused to speak on the incident for years, but in 2019 she sat down with Angie Martinez and opened up about the impact her brother's death had on her. Losing my brother was a devastating time for me. We had just bought a house, and because I was missing my family from being on the road so much, and my brother, my mother, and myself were going to live in it, we brought this big, ridiculous jacuzzi, and he sat in it fully clothed, and it was like, yo, this is going to be fun. Latifah never forgot her brother and admitted to wearing the ignition key to his motorbike around her neck as a constant reminder of him. The key is visible throughout her performance on Living Single. Tragedy struck again in 1995 when Latifah found herself the victim of a violent carjacking in New York City. Late one evening, while parked up on the side of the road only a block from the Apollo Theater, Latifah, her boyfriend, and friend Len Mayo sat waiting for some other friends to arrive. It was supposed to be a pretty uneventful evening until 2 men saddled up alongside the singer's BMW, flashed a gun, and ordered the 3 out of the vehicle. Fearing for their lives, nobody resisted, but the carjackers still decided to shoot Sean Moon, Latifah's boyfriend at the time, in the stomach before taking the car and getting away. A shaken Latifah pointed out the carjackers from a police lineup a few days later. When asked at the precinct about the situation, the singer just repeated, "It's just stupid. It's just stupid." Her boyfriend would survive the ordeal, and after spending some time in intensive care for a stomach wound, he was discharged. While she was scheduled to make a press statement on the matter, Latifah canceled last minute as she was too distraught and wanted to be by her boyfriend's side in the hospital. The police eventually found Latifah's car abandoned by the docks, and the singer thanked authorities for their swift and precise handling of her case. Despite this, though, it wasn't long before the Queen found herself on the receiving end of police justice, when in 1996, she was arrested for possession of marijuana and a loaded gun. She had been initially stopped for speeding down the Santa Monica freeway in West LA when the officer at the scene smelled marijuana on the 25-year-old singer's breath. He immediately asked Latifah if she had been smoking, to which Latifah, a police officer's daughter, replied, yes. Latifah willingly told the officer about both the drugs and the loaded weapon, and she was taken and booked at the Los Angeles Police Department's Rampart Division Station in LA. She was released from jail on a Saturday morning and made her court appearance on February a year later. She was convicted and placed on 3 years probation. The bruises were beginning to pile up for the UNITY singer, as in just a few short years, Latifah had to juggle with the loss of her brother, being the victim of grand theft auto, and the attempted murder of her partner, all while adjusting to her newfound fame. Latifah's next trail promised to test just that: how the young singer handles drama in the spotlight. 1996 saw the beginning of a feud that will last till the end of the century between Latifah and rapper Foxy Brown. Latifah released a diss record, Name Callin', and both media outlets and fans heavily speculated that Foxy Brown had been the intended target. Accusing Brown of weak songs and weak shows, Latifah took aim at an industry obsessed with sexualizing its female artists. Brown wasted no time in responding to the record and quickly took to the public to make accusations against Latifah, checking her out at musical events. Brown then took it one step further and questioned Latifah's sexuality on various radio interviews she was doing at that time. The feud continued into 1998 when Brown released a track titled 10% Diss, further questioning Latifah's sexual orientation and accusing the Long Island singer of being jealous of Brown's success. Anyone who knows Latifah knew she wasn't going to let this slide, and a few months after Brown's record dropped, she released her own response, Name Callin' Part 2. Latifah pulled no punches, accusing the Brooklyn artist of relying too heavily on sex appeal to sell records, claiming Brown used skimpy outfits to hide her half-ass flow. Brown fired right back with Talk to Me, a song in which she dissed the ratings on Latifah's talk show and made a bunch of homophobic remarks both at Latifah and newcomer Queen Pen. Both artists had drawn and fired, and after the initial diss tracks, the beef slowly died down. Soon it was up to media outlets and music writers to declare a winner. Latifah found herself with 2 crowns now, thanks to her track Name Callin' Part 2. While the pair would eventually reconcile in 2000, with Brown even performing on Latifah's talk show, I wonder what the ratings were like. The feud did spark larger conversations about Latifah's sexual orientation, an issue that wasn't helped by the Long Island singer's refusal to make any public statements on the matter. In 2008, she told the New York Times, I don't feel like I need to share my personal life, and I don't care if people think I'm gay or not. Tabloids, blogs, and fans continue to question and accuse the rapper-turned-singer of all sorts over the next decade, never quite able to definitely pin anything on her. That was until 2021, over 20 years after the initial accusations were made, when Latifah officially came out during her acceptance speech for the Lifetime Achievement Award from BET. In it, she thanks her partner Ebony Nichols as well as son Rebel. Ending the speech with Happy Pride, Latifah put an end to the years of speculation right there, perhaps finally feeling like hip-hop was in a place that would accept her for who she was. For an artist whose life had been so eventful, Latifah's twilight years were relatively calm by comparison. She took a step back from music and turned her attention more toward film and TV, acting and producing in Golden Globe-winning shows, as well as picking up numerous nominations in just about every prize category you can think of. The ladies' first rapper would again have to deal with the loss of a family member after her mom passed away in 2018. The ex-school teacher had been diagnosed in 2004 with interstitial lung disease, a group of chronic lung disorders that involves the scarring of lung tissue, and after a lengthy battle, the otherwise totally healthy person passed away. Perhaps it was the pain of losing her mother and brother in such dramatic and painful ways that inspired Latifah to appear on Finding Your Roots, a PBS show where celebrities explore their ancestry through public records and DNA. While on the show, Latifah learned that her family is descended from a line of freed Negroes who appeared, by name, in a U.S. pre-Civil War census. Slaves were almost never listed in pre-Civil War censuses, so it was a huge find to be able to trace her lineage back that far. She learned about her second oldest ancestor, Jug, or Juggy Owens, who was emancipated from slavery on October 1st, 1792. Latifah also produced a documentary focused on the people affected by interstitial lung disease, hoping to educate people on the illness. She included her mother's story in the program. While it may have been a self-chosen name, Queen Latifah is nothing short of showbiz royalty. In almost 4 decades of hard work, the Queen has overcome odds that would have stopped most people dead in their tracks. Throughout this time, she has remained a mostly drama-free role model who used her voice to preach on women's issues, inner-city violence, and champion Black voices. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, but Latifah has shown that no amount of trauma is gonna make it slip. What do you think is next for the multimedia mogul? Has she done all she can? Or is Latifah's next big project gonna be something like we've never ever seen before? As always, thanks for watching and check back tomorrow for more true celeb stories.